Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with Michelle, and Fanta is on her way. She will be here to discuss the final or the finale of the challenge, season 40. I guess the end of an era, part 2. How are you doing, Michelle? It's been a little while since we watched the episode. What are your immediate thoughts on your consumption of it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a final and it was a lot of water stuff. It always leans towards one thing the most, I find. So that wasn't that surprising. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of opinions about how it all shook up in the end. But there were certain parts of it that I enjoyed, and very happy for Derek, especially.
Definitely happy for Derek. We have some people joining us here live. Hi, Austin. Hello, Haley. Asia. And Willie says, hey, girls, welcome back. Fanta, Karma Points, Rob Michelle from second place. Well, okay, let's just talk a little bit about that. We'll probably talk about it again. But okay, fine. You're going to have these karma points in the game that completely influence the final. Now, okay, cool. They're happy with it. The fact that Rachel and Jenny they had the same amount of points in the end, and they were friends. So they were splitting the first and second prize money. Okay, they're fine and they're happy about it. But Michelle was behind by 1 point. It was 24 to 23. And then she gets significantly less money, but she did significantly better than Rachel did in the final. And then at the same time, also, Rachel had such goodwill from so many people because she's been on the show or in the world of the challenge for 20 years. And so, of course, all of Era 1 is going to be voting for Rachel and giving her 5 points. And Michelle doesn't know any of these people. So there's very few people that are going to be giving her 5 points comparatively. So I just felt that if it's like, oh, take a look at how you're treating people matters. I said this every week. I kept on reminding you that. I'm like, well, then how do you get shows like Rivals if how you treat people matters? This is new, TJ, and it's not fair. I didn't think it was fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of see both sides. Like, if they're going to do the karma thing, then obviously they wanted it to impact the outcome somehow. And because with the guys, it was so like, it would take like at least 3 checkpoints worth. I feel like they wanted something to happen. And so that's why they did what they did. But I agree. Like, I do kind of wish at least that Michelle had gotten second place. Like, why does she have to be bumped to third? Because if it's tied for first, then she is second place, really. Like, you tied for first, she's second. And I mean, Rachel really didn't win. She won 1 checkpoint, she didn't dominate it. But at the same time, like, I still think she did well throughout the season, and strategically and socially, she made sure she was good with everyone. So like, I do give her, points for that and everything.
So hi Icona saying, hi guys, I finally caught it live. I have lots to say because I don't like how fans are treating Rachel. So do you know anything about how the fans are treating Rachel? I haven't noticed anything specifically.
Nothing specific, but I have seen a lot of comments just like expressing how, oh, it's so unfair. Like, she did so poorly and she shouldn't, just that kind of stuff. I've seen some of that feedback.
And do you know what else actually also bothers me is that, so we have all the women that I felt were a lot stronger than the men in the final, just collectively. Yeah. And so they're splitting the money, but they performed better in the final. And then all the men were able to be, separate in that way. And I was like, you guys should have maybe rethought this, because I felt it was a little bit shitty that some of the women did better than the men, but got less money. You know what I mean?
I know. I mean, there's always something, right? Like, it's that, but then they're not consistent with these weird choices they make. Like, we talked about 39, only 1 champion, not 2 champions or whatever. And like, obviously they change the rules each time, so they're allowed to do whatever they want. But when they make choices like this, I'm just confused. Because this was a situation where you could have had, oh, it didn't matter the gender because they weren't working in teams and they weren't doing this or that, right? So you could have been like, okay, let's just stack it in order if you really wanted to for season 40. And you would have had three female, like it would have
And
been
it would
that.
have made, I think, everybody try a little bit harder in the finals because, you see Banana sometimes being like, oh, well, I only have this person in front of me or like this person. Like you can kind of
Mhm.
decide like, okay, I know I'm going to get third place no matter what. So I don't need to try harder. But if it's like, oh, this is between me getting sixth place and third place, like you might just push a little further if you're not just
Mhm.
competing against yourself. So yeah, I felt like the women who did significantly better than the men got significantly less money, which is annoying.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
kind of sucks. Austin, you're saying it couldn't be one checkpoint worth because it would have done nothing, and 3 would have changed the outcome for both men and women. Well, I feel as though the producers kind of had a bit of an agenda. I'll probably talk about it more in when we do the start recapping, but I felt as though Rachel was narrating a lot of part 2, and with her narrating it, I just was like, it felt like they were trying to convince me that she deserved the win. Like she's like, I gotta win this checkpoint. Okay, like it's gonna be close, and I have to, and it just felt as though they're preparing us for her winning, even though from how she performed, it didn't look like she deserved it.
And also, interestingly enough, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyland only got fourth place by 1 point, or am I wrong?
Fourth,
Feel like
with
he ended up
Johnny.
with like
Let's
15 points or something. And he was like, if it had been another, like 3 times the checkpoint, he would have
two. It was
surpassed.
two. It was two.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, yeah, never mind.
uh,
But he's probably still would have surpassed Bananas if it had been.
Johnny. Yes. So if it was, wait, I don't even really understand how the checkpoints work, but I guess there were double. Is that what it is? 2. So
Yeah.
divided by 2 is how much? I don't. I guess it's an average of all of them.
Well, like it's like whoever got the most amount of points
So, but it's like from
got
everybody. So,
one.
like 20
Yeah.
people, and they each gave you 5, 4, 3, 2, whatever, and
Yeah.
then you average that and divide it by, and got like like a smaller number.
No, I think what they did is like they took all the scores, like the average score of what everybody gave you. That's your score, and then they take everybody's scores and rank them, the men and the women, and then that's the order of points you get as if you won a checkpoint. So you either get 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if you were the best, you got that amount of points as if you got first place, but then they times that by 2. So it was essentially just like the same score times 2, but based on how they
Oh.
fell in the rankings.
Wait,
But not,
how did they rank though? Like you got like how many points if you got 4?
I forget right now off
No,
the
so
top
I
of my head.
actually
But
don't think so. Just because of how the numbers are.
no,
Because,
that's what they said though. I'm pretty
okay, but
sure.
okay, so Jordan got 4 karma points. So what? How can you explain
Yeah, so
that?
2 and 2. So he was second and second, so, or third, or whatever the thing is. He got 2 points and 2 points,
And
as if
Derek
he
got
won.
8, so he just
Yes,
won.
4 and 4, because
Okay,
Derek got
4.
the highest amount because he was first
Oh, and
place.
it's 3,
So
and then
Jordan was
Dan's got
third
1.
place.
Okay, got it. 4,
Yeah,
3, 2, 1. Okay,
yeah.
understand. So then if it was a 3 thing, so he would have got 9, Johnny would have only gotten 3. Yeah, that would have been terrible. Like Johnny would have been, and then actually Derek would have won this season.
Really? Oh, see, that's the thing. I mean, yeah.
Right?
And to
Because
be
if Derek had
fair,
8, that means he would have gotten 4 more
yeah,
points. He would have been at, oh wait, no, hold on. 4 more points. Oh no. Jordan would have still won. Sorry. But Bananas would have lost for sure.
yeah, but it's like very obvious. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's very, very clear what they wanted to do there at the end.
Haley says it's
Yeah.
crazy how one checkpoint being different could have made Michelle a challenge champ. I was impressed by Michelle in this final.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think that she would have done well in many other finals. I think that she was very impressive. She always kept her cool. She never really gave up. She placed very well. I thought that had a really good showing, and I was happy to see her, and I was happy that she did well. So as
And
much
there
as
were
I give her heck all the time, like I think she definitely deserved. I thought she deserved better than she got.
a couple moments where she made like little mistakes or things that like if she hadn't, she would have even been that much closer. But she did really, really well. I mean, she did much better than Rachel, of course, and Tori. So I mean, she finished it. It's her first final. For her first final, I think she can't be upset about like showing that well because now she's someone that people know. Like, she made herself as someone who can do a final and do really well in one. So I mean, must suck to not win the money, but she's one survivor. So,
She's yeah. And
you
apparently she
know,
put that money away and is like living off interest. So like she's good.
yeah.
She's good. And her and Devin are in love.
Right.
Hi,
Yes.
Victoria. Victoria says they need to explain the breakdown of the karma points. Also, I'd like to know the number of coins in the bags and how many each person counted. I don't fully trust their tally. Well, I added up their numbers and they weren't all the same. Like I thought that each person's bag would have been the same, but they actually weren't. So I thought that was interesting.
Mhm.
Was the fact that like I'll let when we go to the recap, I'll talk about like how you know the points that I added up, but yeah, it is a little bit sketchy. I don't know if I fully trust their tally either,
But I
but
do, I do think that Tori said the wrong number.
oh
Like, because when they showed the breakdown of, they showed a quick thing of like, they were over by this amount or under by this amount with the coins. And she was over by like 900 and something. And when she said her total, she was like 6,000, like 6,9, blah, blah, 3,4, whatever it was. And most other people were like 6,1 or 6,098 or something.
yeah.
And so I feel like she's flipped the numbers maybe. And so she probably was much closer. She was probably the closest to the number, but she was over by like 900 and something. Maybe I'm wrong, but
unless she was trying to say 5,964,
or maybe,
um,
yeah.
that like she wasn't close. Well, she like,
But she was so far off that I think that she flipped a number at some
no,
point or
like it would
something.
have to be like she changed the 5 to the 6, like 5,000
Yeah,
to
something like
6,000.
that. Yeah.
But without further ado, we have Fanta.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Fanta. Or
Hello.
ado. Further ado.
Oh my
Yay! How are you, Fanta? We just kind of been talking about just our overall thoughts about the finale. We will go through, the episode about the Beijing Popcorn Points, but what do you think about the season? How are you feeling about how it's all ended? You've had a few days to digest it, maybe seeing things on social media, all that jazz. So how are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts and so many feelings about this season. Like, this season was kind of bittersweet. I feel like there was a lot of missed potential. But I was so happy about so many things, which I know we'll talk about. And not happy about the karma points business, which I know we'll talk about. Um, yeah, so it was mixed. I do think that production could have done a better job for such a big season, especially knowing that a lot of these people might not return. So it's kind
Who
of
do you
like
think will not return?
I
Oh,
don't think
just like some of
Emily's
like
gonna
the old school peoples?
yeah, the older school, like the OGs, like I don't think Emily's gonna return, to be honest.
Emily,
Um,
she was really irritated about production.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's once in a lifetime kind of thing. Maybe they can get her onto All Stars. Hi everyone. Oh my gosh, I miss everyone so much.
Yeah, I mean, I love the season. I love the nostalgia around it. I do agree that I wish that I was, or all of us were part of the production team, because I feel like they just had the potential of making it as epic as we were hoping it to be. And so I think that
Yeah,
that's what goes with my disappointment a little bit, is that they just had such potential for the season to be so, 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 so good. And they kind of just dropped the ball. They kind of wasted some of their talent that they had, that, some people that we won't see again, like you're saying, that I wish that they had a better experience if that's going to be their last time that we're going to be seeing them and that they're going to be on the show. I don't want her going out thinking that they rigged it for Tina. I don't want like, some of these people going out in a hall brawl like in the first day one. I just like, there's some things I just wish didn't happen that I would have loved to see change to make this season as epic as we were all really excited and we really were like, look at this, yes.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't live up to expectations. So Michelle, like from where you thought it was going to be to where it is, like where did you rank the season before we started, and then how do you think it finished?
I was really excited, but yeah, it did not fulfill what I wanted in any way. In fact, I'm just mostly excited for All Stars 5 because Frank, like, there's just so much that I'm like, like Kellyanne, like with Sylvia, what? Like such random combinations and like unfair, unbalanced teams, but like, I don't care. Like, it's going to be funny. And I'm more looking forward to that because this season, it made me not ride for Jordan anymore. Obviously the Laurel stuff, Rachel, I mean, anyway, it just sort of didn't leave me feeling amped. But there were a couple episodes that did serve. Like there were a couple throughout that we were like really excited about. But losing so many good people at the start was upsetting.
Oof,
for sure.
Yeah.
So upsetting. And I wish that the formats didn't make era 1 look so weak and being like, the old era. And it's like, yes, they are significantly older than era 4. Absolutely. So why wasn't the production making maybe more balanced challenges, or maybe challenges that came out of era 1 would be what would be played? Or, there was definitely stuff that was born in certain eras. I know that Hall Brawl and the whole that's were born in era 1 and era 2, I think it was. But like, there was some stupid stuff that they could have done to bring back that would have been iconic. And we'd be like, oh my gosh, like, it's just it would be so reminiscent. And
like what, was it the treadmill with the itching powder? Am I thinking of the wrong thing?
I don't remember, but tell me.
There was one where they had to put itching powder on and put this like these tight suits on and then like I think run on a treadmill or do something.
It's sounding familiar.
And then there was the one where they had to spin in a chair and then eat milk and cookies. I think CT won that one. Or maybe I'm wrong. But they had to like eat as many cookies and not puke or something.
I feel like I remember that one.
Yeah.
Like the fly swatting one, I always bring that one up, but like it's just so ridiculous. Like I just would have loved to see some of the old school ones that aren't just physical based, not all fifth sport era 4 vibes. I would have liked to see a little bit more of variety in the type of things that were, offered in these dailies and eliminations.
Yeah, some of the eliminations I also just like hated that were
I know
like,
it was awful, Haley. Okay, I'm just saying that like there was just other things.
Is that the one from Rivals 2?
I think so. It's so ridiculous.
Where like it's like the swatter and then it like snaps.
I don't remember what happened, but like I don't remember what the game part of it was, but I just remember. Was it Katie standing there and like slapping someone in the face with this fly swatter?
Okay, yeah, I think it was
I would hate that so much.
I kind of wanted to see the bananas backpack. I mean, that would have been cool if they brought some of these iconic challenges back. I guess maybe they did a couple sort of like that. Did they knock down?
They did. I feel like they did that in the beginning, right? Because they had that like chart or whatever, and like when it was like the purge, I guess that was like production's version of like, okay, we're doing it. But I would have rather had like an OG elimination from one of those older seasons as opposed to like the math one that like Kylan and Darrell did, and like the math chest one. I was like, this season was quite math heavy. I feel like, which is it's not very interesting to watch people do
that. Especially if we can't be figuring it out on our own because it's too fast and quick cuts.
Yeah.
So Victoria says, I agree, Chantele. I was excited to see the eras. It was production's final cuts that annoyed me, and starting with the Horacio debacle, too much. Yes, there was too many debacles, and I don't always want to be wearing that tinfoil hat being like, what's production doing? But they just make it so easy when they don't show numbers, they don't show times, questionable outcomes, questionable rules, changing rules. And it's like, can we have some consistency here? And this is also kind of what people are getting mad at Rachel for, because it looks like she's being a bit of a production pet, what makes it more likely, or like makes us believe anyways, that maybe they allowed her to win and that's why she's taking this production strong stance. You cringed, Fanta.
I really struggle like with the final. I don't know if you guys have already talked about this, but I really struggle with the idea of it being like it being a split. Like it was like the women have to split the money. I hate that. I hate that so much. And like I like Rachel. I like certain iterations of Rachel. I don't like every iteration of Rachel, but I did like her this season. I did think she was good politically, but I don't she didn't do that well in the final. Like we can all agree on that. That wasn't like her best performance. So it was kind of a little bit sour to like see Jenny do so well. And then it's like production be like, actually, you have to split the money. And it kind of just felt like she got screwed over again. Like,
because she was supposed to win the whole million, and she had to kind of split that with Johnny in the
madness. And it's like, why do you keep making her split money?
I know, it's very annoying. She must be used to it by now, I guess.
Like
she's like, oh yay, sure, whatever. And like, I don't know, to Jenny's credit, she does seem very like, okay, like she doesn't come across super selfish in that way. Like she's like, all right, cool, sounds good.
It was kind of interesting because I was like really looking close when he like announced the tie and the money split, and I like wanted to see if there was like any sliver of a moment between either of them where they were like, what the fuck, like we have to split this money. But I don't know, I guess not. But they didn't really establish that could have ever been a possibility. Like, has there ever been a tie ever in the history of ever?
No, and I feel like for the tie to be something like this, where someone so clearly did so much better than someone else in the final, is such a weird decision to make. And like, because if things were slightly different and maybe Jordan hadn't won as many checkpoints and it was closer or whatever, and it had been a situation where Derek could have been tied with Jordan, I feel like they would have prevented that. And I feel like with Rachel getting to first with Jenny, it feels more believable because she is someone that's won more than once already. And she seems like it makes sense that she would win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Haley says, can you imagine they did a tiebreaker and made them float like Cara and Tori?
Yeah, I thought that at first, for a second, I was like, oh, they'll do a tiebreaker.
I fully thought that. That would have been like quite cool, but it was just strange. I don't know. That last bit kind of lost me.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Yeah, like.
Willie thinks that Rachel deserved third place. Yeesh.
Imagine though, they finally finish the final, they're fucking dead, and then they say, okay, get in the water, tread water till you drown. Oh, that would be so brutal. Oh man. Yeah, I get why they didn't do that.
So one here brings up a good point. Jenny's a twin, so she's probably just used to sharing.
Fair.
That's that's very true. I have a lot of twins in my family and they share a lot of things, but I'm always like, okay, I have to make sure that I give them separate presents and then give them twin presents, like a shared present. So I always make sure that I give them individualized presents that are different, and then also like catering more to each of their personalities, and then I give them like a twin present. So that it's actually definitely a possibility that she's not going to complain about winning a lot of money. Like,
yeah,
I mean, she's literally won like $700,000. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
in total. I guess it's American though, so converting that sucks, but no tax, I don't think, if you're converting it to UK or to.
And like based on Jenny's track record throughout the season of like how she performed in endurance and like running based challenges, I really didn't expect her to be so dominant in the final. Obviously, a lot of that it was because she's better in the water than others, but like that's still a lot of stamina. And yeah, I was impressed. I'm like, oh, right, you're good at finals, but like I didn't think you would be based on watching the season. I didn't think she would be that much better, you know?
Was it specifically like the asthma of it all?
A little bit of that, yeah.
I thought the asthma was like I was just the whole season. I kept after that elimination she had with Anissa. The whole season I was like, "Oh, she's toast. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
way." But I mean, look at her. She won.
Yeah.
She won. She won this season.
She won. She
won.
won. She won like number one this season.
Yeah.
So AK says that yes, Rachel did not do that well in the final, but politics-wise, it helped her
Yeah.
in the final. That political game that she played helped her, whether we like her or not. She still won. Yeah,
True.
I think she did a really great
Yeah.
job with how she connected with Jordan, with Tori. Like she definitely had the men wanting to keep her in the game, and so getting herself to the final, I think that she did a really great job. I think majority of people, I don't remember hearing anybody say that they gave her a 1 or something super low. Maybe there was a couple people, but for the most part, I just remember I would be like 5. Rachel gets 5. Rachel gets 5. Now I did tell Michelle this already that I felt it was a little bit unfair that a lot of people have past history that was coming in to this game, and so how is that how you treat people? Well, what if you just didn't get a chance to treat them at all because they were gone the first week and you've never been on a show with them before? So I thought it was a little bit unfair in that way where, you know, this new mechanic, it's like how you treat people matters when it's not really just how you treat people. It's kind of who you know. But
Like,
yeah, I do think
like
she did a
no
good job.
offense to like love Amanda forever and always, but like it didn't matter how Tori treated her this season. She was gonna get the lowest score regardless. So we don't have, you know what I mean? Like, you know.
Amanda would have suggested to production karma points if they hadn't thought it up already.
Yeah.
Just to rate Tori low.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this challenge. If I remember correctly, it starts back at them counting coins. Like that just cuts right in. I'm like, okay. But did you see loonies in there? Because I felt I saw loonies in there.
You did?
It looked like loonies.
Did they say? I thought it was
said
just
Looney
like
Tunes. I was like, is there loonies in there? I don't know. What'd you guys think?
Oh, I thought it was just like local currency.
Well, yes, I agree. But then I just looked at one of them and it looked like a loony.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
I'll see if I can maybe find a picture of the coins, but yeah, they're going Looney Tunes. I was like, Looney Tunes? And I'm just thinking about loonies right now. I'm like, it's a sign, it's a loony. So Jenny just gets fed up. She's super tired. She wants to go to bed. She puts all her coins in and just wanted to stop counting. And so this was at 136, and her total was 6,052. Then Derek finished closely after, and that was 688. 6,088. So I feel as though that there is different coin amounts in each bag. Like, what do you think about this, Fanta? Do you think it was this slightly different? Was it the same? Did they get their math wrong? I just feel like there's something sketchy going on with these coins.
Really? I thought that they intentionally put different numbers in each bag so that to prevent
copy.
You know, like, oh, this is what I got, or like this is what I got.
They're so close, the numbers.
Yeah. I think that they were intentionally different for sure. Because don't you think that would be kind of crazy if like every single bag had the exact same amount of coins?
Well, I mean, so it looks like it seems like it. I don't like that the girl's amount was 5,965 and the guys was 5,970. That seems like what around the number was, but not everybody's number added up to exactly that when it showed how much people were plus and minus. And so I'm just like, that's why it just seems a little bit confusing. I'm like, it seemed like some people were closer if that was the total number. And so like, it just made it more easy for there to be some discrepancy into tallying these numbers.
I think that what it was they just didn't count, put huge bags of coins there. Then, based on
Oh.
whatever they put in, they put your container through a counting machine, counted your container. How many did you put in your thing? How many were in your bag by random? Then compare that to the number that you said that you counted. So it's just based on the number that you counted, and all the bags are random, but they're around 6,000 or under.
Oh, maybe they
Yeah.
weighed the bags to make them
Yeah,
all weigh
maybe
the
it's like
same
similar
amount,
weight.
and
Yeah.
like the coins might have had different values, or like or number, like some could have been lighter than or heavier, but the weight was the same. Okay, I can take that.
Yeah.
I can take that. But still was a little sketchy to me. These coins. Always sketchy. Okay, so I said, haha, Johnny had coins left to count, just like a few coins in his hands, and he had to go back up and sing. Did you like the singing portion of this final, Fanta?
I thought that was like gorgeous torture. Like, like whoever thought of that, I'm like, that couldn't be any more perfect. Because like think about
torturous.
like I would rather eat like really, really disgusting things than have to sing. And you can't stop. Like that was
There were
Fantastic.
times where it seemed like some of them weren't singing as much as others.
Yeah, I had such a laugh at like Tori though, because she kept like singing. Like
yeah,
she would
that's
just
what I was
be
going
like,
to ask you, Michelle.
"Tell me
I was
the-" and I was
dying.
like, you don't have to do
Go
that.
home. My girl.
Okay, Michelle, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, how'd you feel when Tori was by herself at the end, as if she was recording a music video for her next single?
Listen, every moment's an audition. Every moment's your moment. You take them. And like, you know, might as well sound good if you can, I guess.
It's like you put a little vibrato at the end of every note,
Yeah.
and like, but try to make it look like she's singing just like really wholesome and just like, you know.
Yeah.
it's
She
That
loved
was
that moment.
fantastic. That was fantastic. Because I was like, this seems to be more energy to do this way, but
And she did all that, and then she got last place in that heat because she messed up her. I think she flipped a number or something because her total was like 6,900 and something or whatever it was.
So off.
Like she was off by a lot. But I think that she and she spent so much time. She was so meticulous. Yeah, that's also
Oh
true.
my gosh.
Habitual.
Okay, Michelle, you are a singer.
Yeah,
Would you be
Michelle is
singing
like
it really well. Like, would you be singing
Not really
how
well,
would you
but
sing
like it would be. I would have to put in effort to like purposely sing it bad, like out of tune or like
No, I would never expect you to be
pitchy.
out. I'm not even going to be out of tune,
But
you know.
like I wouldn't be like serving like no. No. I mean,
Oh
maybe
my
moments.
gosh.
Maybe it would help like the time go by. Like I would just like give a full performance and like add riffs for the fun of it. But
Yes, Willie, Michelle is a
Oh
singer.
my god, Michelle is the real deal, you guys.
Really, really
I'm not
good
there with Tori
singer.
Deal. Listen. Yeah. I'm at least as good as Tori Deal.
Uh-oh, Michelle, sing the
Oh,
song.
I forget it right now, but
I agree.
Show
I
me the
agree.
way
The
to
way to
go
go home.
I'm not tired
not-
and I wanna go to bed.
the clips of them each doing the confessional, I was like, I wish I could skip this, but the version I was watching, I couldn't.
Oh.
It's like, oh.
Should we lament
Torturous.
on that a little bit? What are they doing in making our life so difficult to watch this damn show?
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I was
It's-
away, and so I granted like it was going to be a little bit more difficult for me because like I didn't have my on my computer and on my iPad like any way that I was trying to do it, it was forcing me to use an app, and then I couldn't use the American version of the app, and so like it was a pain, absolutely. But like, why don't they
And
want us
right
to
at the
watch the
end,
show?
like
Yeah.
literally, it was like right before the finale. They're like, and you can't watch it the way you've been watching it the whole time. Sorry. Like, oh, you want it's right before the finale and the reunion. You don't want people to watch it. Like, what are you doing? Oh my God. Yeah.
Insane.
Or maybe they're just trying to make us get used to figuring out a way to find it so that at least we'll be prepared and know how to when All Stars 5 comes onto MTV. Because, like, I just don't understand, then why they just didn't finish the season by the end of the year and then still have it start on the end of January, All Stars 5. But, like, then you can do whatever you want. Like, don't have it available anywhere and then it's fine. But yeah, it's just frustrating that it was like the last 2 episodes are such a problem. So frustrating.
Yeah, that was painful.
Anything else we want to talk about more about the counting? It seems okay. So these are numbers that people got. So Kylan got 5695, Michelle 5905, Jordan 5778, Rachel 6023, and that was in order that they finished. Tori was still counting and finishing at 4:29 a.m. with 6,964. In the morning, everybody was talking about finally being done, blah, 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 at last day. And so the results are in, and Derek won, getting first place. And so he was plus 118 over the actual amount, which was making it around 5,970 was the actual total. But it was just like, I wasn't fully able to tabulate properly because I didn't have, I guess if they did weigh them, the numbers are going to be a little bit different. So
yeah,
sketch, but you know. Rachel was plus 58. And this is something you didn't hear me say before you came on, Fanta, but I felt as though the editing was just kind of laying the groundwork for us to be okay with a Rachel win, because they're like, oh, like I really need to win this checkpoint to even have a shot. And oh, you know, it's going to be really close between all of us. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is it though?
No, I got that sense the whole final. I was like, this is odd. And like, especially when it was like 3/4 of the way through, I was like, but she's doing so poorly. And at that point, I was like, you mean to tell me that her karma points are going to send her up to 1? Like that, I thought that was like sus the whole time. I was like, what? Like,
yeah.
I was like, you're not even a contender. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe she'll pop up to second. Like, I was like, there's no way. Like, she's so
Yeah.
far behind.
I thought like, and I was saying to my partner at the time, I was like, she's gonna finish in 3rd. I was like, 100%. She's a solid 3rd. Her whole performance this final has been solid 3.
Yeah.
Dreadful says she performed as bad as 4th place besides counting some coins. It's a joke. Dreadful. Not happy with Rachel, it seems, today. Mari here says, I feel like that part was so easy for Colin to stay up because he's used to staying up for hours at night doing TikTok live events. Have you guys seen any of his TikTok lives? I do see him on TikTok often. I've never really popped in. But like,
yeah, I'm sorry. Like you would have to pay me.
Like,
how much?
The idea of like watching a TikTok live event, I don't even like understand.
Yeah, sitting on camera and
there's layers to that. You would have to like, how long are these lives? That will help me dictate
an hour,
how much.
I'd say probably
an hour, $100 to watch a Kylan TikTok live.
And okay, and then are you going to give like a report?
If you
to
want
prove that you watched it,
a report after, that's another $50, and this is all USD.
Yes. Ooh, okay. Because I was going to say
is insane right now.
I was going to say 200 Canadian. So yeah, all right.
That's the same.
That's my rate.
That's probably a little bit more, but yeah. Okay, I'll think about this. If I come into a little bit of cash, I might be hiring you two to do some recon.
I'd be happy to do it. Yeah, we can pod after. Happy to do it.
Making it USD to sweeten the deal. Man, okay, I'll think about it. My birthday's coming up, so I might get some USD.
Oh, hell yeah. 11 days.
Yep, it's coming. It's
coming.
Is it really 11 days? Oh my God, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Jordan was 182 coins off. Michelle, 90 coins off, and they got 2nd place. 3rd place is Kyland and Jenny with 290 and 97 off. And so I'm pretty impressed with Jenny for just kind of like saving 3 hours of sleep time for herself and just kind of doing an estimate. I think I might have done an estimate.
Queen. What a queenly choice. I think I would have done the same thing because sleep is so much more important, especially if you already like winning consistently and there's a lot of swimming. I feel like she was in that place to do it. But
And she has a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
muscle. You need like rest for your body to rejuvenate and heal itself, and not getting enough sleep. Like that's kind of, I think, also why she was freaking out so much. Like, I'm sure she has a very strict diet and she knows her macros and micros and protein, and like she knows
Yeah.
how to feed her body to be able to produce and maintain her muscle mass. And so sleep is, I think, really important for, keeping her physique. And so she's like, I gotta go to bed if I want to win this season, or
Yeah.
split the money
Mhm.
with somebody this season. Was I gonna say about Jenny? I can't remember. But 97 off, I think, is still pretty good, considering. Now, what would your tactics be for this coin counting? I talked to Michelle. Did you talk about it with me and Matthew? No, I talked about it with Angel Cake. Angel Cake, the
Oh.
last episode. That's why I'm like, what did you say?
Mm.
Yeah. Do you guys have any like thoughts on your strategy on how to do this? Because I would not want to be up late either. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a strategy to make it go quickly.
I think I might do something similar to Michelle. Like I would do piles of 10 and cover the whole thing and then go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and like do them all as quick as I could to get like to 100 and then just go do that and like keep filling the top first to make sure it's accurate. Or I might just put them in. I'm a pretty fast counter, so I don't know. I might just like maybe on the ground like I was counting a cash till at a retail job and just like
Retail days.
Retail
I'm pretty
cash
fast. I might even split them the different types. You know, I would definitely win this. This is the best thing I would ever be at in a final challenge. Just counting some
You're
coins.
also good at being a metronome and
Yes.
keeping time. So
Yeah.
if there's any of those challenges where you have to like blindfold your eyes and like hear distracting sounds and you have to know when exactly 2 minutes was, Michelle is your girl. She will win that one all the time.
But I can't do water or air in the heights, or I can't really do much anything else. I can't do I can't go like underground. That's also scary. I'm not gonna climb, so
So you
I don't really
count
have.
and keep time.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Do you have a
important that
strategy?
it's important there's challenges that us normie folk can be like, I could do that.
Yes. Could you do it, Fanta?
Accounting?
Yeah. Would you win this one?
I feel like I would be bad at counting. I mean, I don't know, but I would have like a strategy to like count up to a certain point and then like probably set a coin aside and be like, okay, that's 100 or that's 200 or that's a
Yeah,
thousand
that's
or
kind of what I was
whatever.
thinking too.
Do it like like some way like
Oh
that,
yeah. Every time you reach
so that
100.
then
Now,
just like set it
from
aside.
what Bananas said, they weren't allowing people to stack anything on the chest or something like that. So, like, you kind of, they really were emphasizing you remembering all the numbers in your head without giving yourself markers on like how to remember things. So,
Rule.
But there's ways around it because I could see Michelle had little piles.
yeah. So, I mean, maybe her piles are fine, or maybe that she was told that she couldn't do that at some point. Like, I don't know. But Bananas was saying that they were told at times that they couldn't do certain things. So that's annoying. But yeah, I would do my best. Like, how they're gonna be able to tell that I have stacks, whatever, if I'm like have them all out on the ground and I'm like, oh,
if you
there's another
just have
100,
them on the
200.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Also apparently Johnny had dropped a bunch and like he had to like find the ones that he had dropped to like make sure that he had a accurate count or whatever. But you know what though? Jolie here has a good point that they wouldn't have risked going to sleep and having checkpoint one cost them $400,000. Well, like 160 something thousand dollars. So
I mean, there's also the concept to consider. Like, this was the thing that I thought was funny when like Jenny went up, and I was like thinking about it. I was like, how long is it taking her to get to sleep? Like, how much of a quality sleep are you really getting there? Like, you would just be, when, like, I think somebody said this when you're just so like overtired and you're just like kind of
Yeah.
wound up, and then people are singing. I don't know. Sometimes like it might just be better to just go the whole time through and not sleep.
Yeah, true.
I don't think she's just too muscular to be able to make that work for her. Bananas and Tori are in fourth place. They're 310 over and 984 over. So if she did it, if you're right, Michelle, and she was 1,000 off by just what she said, she probably would have been about 16 short or something like that. So maybe maybe she said the wrong thing. So the next checkpoint that they're going to be doing is Submerging Terror, where they have to swim to the first checkpoint. Is this the one? I don't remember. Like, they're all blend together. Which one is this one, Fanta? As I read my notes, to try to
I feel like wasn't
remember.
this the one where they went to like that? They swam to that square thing that had the crates under the water. And then they had to Jordan got there first and he read the sign, and then they had to go like get that thing and then come back.
Ore.
And then they had to get the ore and then come back, but they had to go underwater, and like there was ropes that were around the crates, and they had to undo the ropes or just break it open to get the key so that they could leave on the.
That sucks. Like, I would anything that like I didn't like, I wouldn't like to do, where you have to swim underneath and go and look at the different the grid, and then you have to come back and recreate it. Like, that one sucked, and then this one also would suck, where you have to go down and untie something. They do that on Survivor a lot also. I'm like, those ones are hard, because if you don't get a good dive down, it's really hard to get down, and then if you can pull yourself, great, but it is challenging to do those ones.
100%, because there are people that like are kind of panic underwater, and as soon as I saw like that's what you had to do, I was like, oh, Kyland, you're toast.
Oh yeah.
Iki says, I feel the reason why Tori and Kyland fumbled this bad was because it was not a running final. They could swim, but not for this long. And also, it's kind of unfair, I would say, for Tori having treaded water for over 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever that was, the night before, and then do 2 days of swimming. Yeah. Like, rough.
That immediately lost it for her, because to be in the water for like that long and you're absorbing salt. Like, there's no way. Like, you're not meant to be in the water for that long. So it sucks, because she definitely started like 20 steps behind everybody else. And I think I remember like Cara saying on her socials, being like, I was like puking and like all of this stuff after that elimination. So I could only imagine what Tori was going through when she started the final. So yeah, that really sucks, and it kind of begs the question, like, how would Tori have done if she hadn't done that before?
Yeah.
Austin says Jenny on Bananas' podcast said that they were going to the first checkpoint. She went to the restroom and was afraid that they weren't going to eat again, so she ate a tube of toothpaste. Yeah, I heard her say that. And then they did get food after, and like, she was joking. She's like, "Well, that was just like my, palate cleanser."
What?
That's so bad. Don't do that.
It's gross.
That's definitely insane.
And also, apparently, Jordan and Bananas, they had food, and they weren't sure if they're going to get food again. So it was spaghetti and meatballs. And so they hid spaghetti and meatballs somewhere on, I guess, the boat. And Bananas went back to eat it the next day. And it was like, I think he still ate it, but he said it smelled mildewy, is what he said. I'm like, that's so gross. Like, mildewy, that's like the precursor to mold, and it's just like rank. I'm like, ugh. I don't remember if he said he ate it or not, but he definitely had intentions with that.
That's not good for you.
I'm not gonna. I don't think I can recover from that.
Yeah, I don't want that. I
feel like kind of mildewy meatballs is better than toothpaste.
I think
unpopular opinion.
I don't know. It's all gross.
It's all bad.
Wow.
All bad. All bad. Like, all terribly bad. Okay, so Rachel's annoyed that she has to compete against the other women, these models and badasses, which is true. We're saying that, the final, we were expecting it to be maybe some pair elements like there usually is. Not usually, but I'd say actually more than 50% of the time.
Yeah.
And so things would have been a lot different if, since this final was individual, that if they were to have individual placements. That would have been, I think it would have changed the rankings a lot, because there was quite a few times where all the women came in before maybe a Bananas or Kyland.
Yeah.
I think that could have been kind of cool.
Yeah, that's another thing that it's so interesting that's changed so much about the challenge. Like, we all know back in the day how freaking misogynistic all of these guys were, and like these women are just, they're performing in such an insane way. And I think that should be talked about more, but that's another thing that just killed me about the women having to split the money.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Why are you punishing them for doing better?
Exactly.
And like, it doesn't always happen like that the women are doing better than the men in these finals. Like, it's not always that it's an equalized final where the super male strength doesn't matter. Like, it's never like that. And so it would have been awesome if all the women took all the big prize monies. Like, maybe like Jordan, Jenny, Rachel, Michelle, like, took all the big prize monies, and then everybody else got, nothing. That'd be kind of
A token.
much better. A token. Exactly. Some toothpaste. Ooh. So Jordan, when he gets back, he takes a break. And this is before he's going down, I think, to get the key. And then everybody's able to catch up from that to him. Jordan gets the key first, then Derek, then Bananas. They're all now going to the next part of this checkpoint. Tori was the first girl to get the key. Jenny gets the key second. And Jordan, like, is still paddling really well. Considering he has one hand, how does he paddle with one hand? That's insane. And he still managed to do a really good job paddling.
Yeah.
I don't even think I can paddle that well with both my hands.
I know, I was just thinking that. I was like, can I? I don't think so.
I don't remember the last time. When was the last time we paddled? I feel like you've paddled more recently than I have.
Yeah, I mean,
you're in BC.
Yeah,
like
paddle, like paddle boarding.
I've never paddleboarded. I nearly went on Friday.
Hard. It's not that hard.
I nearly went on Saturday, but that was just like, I didn't feel like waking up at 7 a.m. So I was like, I'm not gonna go.
On vacation?
Yeah, it was just like, yeah. It was on my last day too, like my full day. I was like, if it was earlier on in the, I might have done it, but I just wanted to chill. Michelle, have you paddleboarded before?
No.
No. Have you paddled in general?
No, I water skied once.
How was that?
Wasn't good at it. No. I don't have great balance.
Could I pay you to record yourself water skiing?
I mean,
you're like, yes.
Depends on the number, yes, but
we gotta give Chantele a price list for all of these little tasks.
Oh wait, okay, hold on. You might be making me think of like a new concept. It's like, how much will you pay me to do XYZ? So Michelle gets the key, but she's not able to get it out of the water. Kylan helps her. Some people were upset about this, saying that Michelle wouldn't have even been able to get back if Kylan didn't help her. But then also Rachel got help from Kylan, so they weren't giving Rachel the same critique. So what are you guys' thoughts?
I think that Michelle just kind of gets a little bit more grief, is because like Michelle's, I don't want to say manipulation, but like it's just kind of in her blood. Like it's like part of like an expectation as well. I think that Kylan, like, and I don't really love Kylan, but I think Kylan should have been like, hey, you guys, I need to like look out for myself. But I don't know. Maybe it didn't take him that long.
Or maybe he knew that he was going to be fourth and he's just finishing at this point. So
he's just, I think, but at the point that he was like peeing on the sign, I think he was done. That's when I think he gave up.
Rachel went to summer camp though, so she thinks that she's going to be amazing at the paddling portion of this. But she wasn't. she didn't catch up, right? She stayed in third, if I remember correctly. yeah, Michelle is having a bit of trouble with this part too, with like getting Kyla to push her boat in the water and finally starting to paddle. So Michelle definitely had a lot of trouble on this checkpoint. So if I look at this checkpoint alone, I could say like, okay, she wasn't that impressive at this checkpoint, but the rest of the final, I thought she was. Jenny
Yeah.
passes Tori in her boat, which I was like, whoa, Jenny. I feel like Jenny definitely does not paddle. So the fact that she was good at this, I was like impressed.
Yeah, she's a freak of nature.
We hear Jordan being worried about the karma vote. And he's hoped that he's righted some of his wrongs. I think we probably got a montage of all of his like stuff. Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing because it proves the point of like we had this sidebar. Chantele and I had like quite a few voice notes to each other after the finale, and it just kind of proves the point of like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for TJ to be saying all season like how you treat people as opposed to how you've treated people in the past. And then they show this like through all season, TJ say how you treat people, and he's using like this season as a context, but then they do a supercut of Jordan's stuff from like 10, 12 years ago. I'm like, that doesn't really make any sense. That's not like
Well, and then also, like I mentioned it before, how are you going to get season like rivals if you don't like if it was all kumbaya and everybody's treating each other nicely? Like you don't have the challenge. It's just yeah, they're trying to change the concept. They're moving the goalpost a bit.
yeah, and
on what
it's
the challenges.
yeah, and it's tough because it's like it felt like there was like the last like quarter of this season that was like very kumbaya, and it was just kind of like cool, nothing's really happening, which I guess like naturally it kind of does with like every season because the final's so close, but it does really kind of beg the question like why don't you just do the formats of like all stars?
So Jolie says that the producers asked Jordan for those sound bites just to make it seem like there's a chance that Jordan lost to fake suspense. But there's no way that even if he got the least amount of karma points, I think he still would have won if they're doing it for 2 checkpoints. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know why, like how we would think, because he never moved from first place, how we would think that was possible that he wouldn't win.
Yeah, but I guess that's all a part of the thing of like us not really knowing how the karma points work. Like it's only production that knew what would do what, and we don't know. Like
So we
tinfoil
found out
hat, we
how
don't
they
know.
used the karma points after they figured out who they wanted to win, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're like, okay,
Like-
in order for these people to win, this is how many the karma points are going to be worth this many checkpoints if we want, such and such to win.
100%. And like that's the thing where it's like they're like, oh well, whatever, it's just Jenny. But they wouldn't do that to Jordan because they know like they would have such a mutiny. But they're like, oh whatever, it's just Jenny.
Kind of though. That sucks. Dreadful says Rachel has 20-year relationships with some of these people, trains with a bunch of others. Jenny has played only 2 seasons. It's truly the dumbest twist ever. Not great. It's not great. It doesn't make sense for what they're saying it is to mean, right? Like you're saying this is the context, it's this show, but you also have 20 years of relationships. Absolutely. And so definitely don't think it's fair in that regard. Fanta, did I tell you that a friend of mine who I went to high school with and I also worked with, that I've obviously known for 25, 30 years, she's like really good friends with Rachel and Aviv, and she trains at Bananas' gym, was at the opening. She lives in Florida and like now. And so like, I was like shocked because she saw me. I went live on Instagram and she's like, you watched the challenge? And I'm like, yeah, I've been watching it since high school. And she's like, since Earl Haig? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I used to rent, Road Rules from the library. And she's like, I had no idea. She's like, I still haven't watched this show, but I'm friends with all of them. And so she's met pretty much every single person especially all the Florida people. But she's like very good friends with Aviv, good friends with Rachel, knows Rachel's wife and stuff like that because, you know, her wife is
Crazy.
from Toronto. I was like, what? How did I didn't know that part
Wow.
either, but now I see her in all like the clips and like, you know, any posts that he has at his Rumble gym. I see her there and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Wow.
So anyways,
What a
small world.
trip. Why
It
do
was a
they all
small
live in
world.
Florida now?
Why does everyone live in Florida?
Yeah, it's like the whole
Her?
cast moved there. No, just like the
Yeah.
whole
Oh,
cast.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe because of Johnny's gym? Weather's good?
And probably the
Um,
weather's good.
Miami's pretty cool. It's pretty kind of close, I guess. I don't know. I haven't been to Florida in a long time. So where are we now? Probably at a silly checkpoint. I'm just kidding. So Jenny does take first place. Derek comes in second. Tori also comes in second for the women. Bananas third. Rachel third. Kylan and Michelle are in fourth place for this rowing canoe portion. So they're back to the holding station. Did you care for this holding station, either of you? No.
It didn't move me either way.
Yeah, I wish
it
they
just
had
adds to the torture, I
something.
guess.
Yeah, I guess adds to torture.
Yeah.
But they could have made them do something. So right now, Derek is in second place pretty firmly. So I was really happy for him. It just sucks that nobody thought to get Jordan out of the game earlier. And
Oh,
Uh-oh. We lost her.
she's frozen.
sorry
That
if I'm
sounded
wrong.
gorgeous. Oh, there you go.
Okay, you have to start again. You
I
just said.
saw me freeze, and so then I was like,
Oh,
I
okay.
think I'm gone. I don't know. What did I say?
Yeah, you said it sucks, like it's crazy that nobody thought to get Jordan out
Okay, that's all I said.
earlier.
That's all it said.
Yeah,
It would have been nice
yeah.
if Derek was able to take this win in the end. I think it would have been really awesome. Now, how do you think that Corey would have done? Because Corey is somebody that he came pretty close this season. You know, I think he might have been able to get to the final if he played his game a little bit differently. Yeah, how do you think he would have done in this final?
Not good. I don't think that he's strong swimming wise for those type of distances. I think he can hold his own and I think he can swim. But I don't think Corey would have done well in this final.
Yeah, like he probably would have done better than Kyland.
Yeah.
And stuff. But yeah, I don't see him getting number one with swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Not compared to Jordan. If Jordan wasn't there, probably Derek would have won. I don't know. It all depends, but yeah.
I feel like he would have. I think Derek would have
Done
still
decent.
done better, but I think he would have done decent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one, I hate the fact that the men couldn't target Jordan due to the format, especially since it's the men against the men in the final. So you should be able to decide who you want to compete with in the final. I hate that they took that away from the players.
Yeah. Big time.
Mari says, yeah, I see third place for Corey. If he was in this particular final, he would be third placer. Yeah.
Yeah. If it isn't the swimming, it would have been like the math.
Or the puzzles.
For the puzzles. He's just not strong with those things. So many
What's
years
the
he's
face
been
part?
doing this and he still doesn't like understand like the nuance and like all of that. You can't Kool-Aid man through a wall to win the challenge. We all know that.
Not this one. Definitely not this one. So they send a bar, there's a sandbar out in the ocean. TJ leaves him a note to come and have a drink with him. It's called Mathematical Leisure. So they gave him real coconut water. Were you expecting it to be a gross food challenge?
I thought it was.
I know. Like what? Come on.
Like, why is it?
It was for gross
rancid
food.
coconut at least. Come on.
I was so sad.
I don't remember. Okay, go ahead.
After that, I was like, there isn't going to be eating in this final. That was the time to do it.
Well, you can't really eat though with swimming, right? Because on a like swimming on a. Remember they said don't wait 30 minutes before you go swimming after eating, or so like it's actually you get a cramp and it really sucks. So yeah, I
They
guess
would have
maybe
puked it up though.
that's true.
They would have puked it all up.
Now, somebody that's not
All
a
the
fan
bullet signs.
of Tori's was saying that the reason why there was no eating in this challenge is because Tori is a vegan, and so with her dietary restrictions, there's not enough options for them to like make.
You
some
can
gross
still make
stuff.
gross stuff. There's some
Yeah.
stuff you can like ferment.
Durian. Give us some durian. Right?
Like
That's
there's
stinky
lots of
fruit.
stuff you can do. But like I would hate the idea that they were like, we can't do eating anymore because of people who are vegan.
Dreadful says they always figure that out. So many people are vegan these days. Yeah, like remember
Yeah.
they made them eat onions, and which is
Yeah.
pretty gross, but
Which is insane, but it's like that's an option. Just have a vegan option.
yeah, they should just have a vegan option. Just make it vegan. Who cares? But make it. But like, I wonder if Tori became vegan to like maybe not have to eat gross shit in the finals. Like, let's conspiracy theory
Contributing
that.
factor.
They were vomiting salt water already, I guess.
And I want to see puke.
Not just bile and salt
I want to
water.
see puke.
Okay, so basically, I thought this was a speed bump. Do either of you watch Amazing Race Canada?
No.
So one of
No.
the games that they play that's a little bit different from the US season is they have a speed bump, and that's where they do something like this, where they have a challenge where the first two people that get there, they face off. Actually, it's called a face off, not a speed bump. I'm lying. It's called a face off. And they do the challenge, and then the second person, the person that loses has to wait till the next person joins. They do it against that person. Whoever wins moves on, and then the last person has to wait for an undefined amount of time, or a certain defined amount of time, so like 15 minutes or whatever they decide. So these questions were very easy in my opinion. What did you guys think of these questions? Because like I know I'm a math friendly person, you guys are a math faux persons.
The division, not so much for me. That would have taken me too long to do. Like I could do it, but I don't think I would have been speedy.
48
Honestly,
divided by 4.
there was something divided by 6 or 8 that I was like, oh God, that would take me a moment. I don't think I
72
would
divided
win.
by 8. Okay.
I don't think I would win those ones, but like the other ones, I would have a chance. I don't know. I'm not super fast with that though.
Fanta?
I actually got a few of them correct, like quick. So I think like, and I'm horrible at math, as you know, but I think that
Haley's coming for you, Michelle. Oh no, guys, she's not. Sorry, she's not.
No.
She's commiserating with you. Sorry.
but yeah, I thought that was relatively easy. But again, like if it's like super hot, you just finished swimming, and then you're sitting there and
No,
you're
your
like,
brain might not be thinking like
yeah,
like math. But the questions were very easy. The first one was 12 plus 8 minus 4. Jordan got that one right. 25 minus 5 times 2. Jenny got that one right. And then Rachel out. Anyways, the point is at the end, it was Michelle versus Bananas. Michelle does go out before Bananas. And then it was Kylan versus Bananas. Is that how it went? Yeah. Kylan versus Bananas was the last one. Michelle was very excited to beat Bananas to get out ahead of him just because they have a rivalry this season.
not before asking Derek to let her win.
he held off for a second and she didn't answer.
He waited for so.
He's just like.
And I'm glad that he did. Like, it kills me to like think about like, and I don't hate Michelle, but that cracks me up. It cracked me up so much that I'm like, girl, you were in a final and you're asking people to like let you in, like help you up on this shelf, like here, this. Like, that was so funny to me.
They had that question with the 72 divided by 8 times 4. And so, like, he did give her a second, though. He waited.
He did.
He didn't answer, and he's just like, 36.
He did. And I'm so glad that he was like, you know what? No, I gotta go.
If she got it, like, a second before, he would have been fine with it, I think. But
yeah.
She wasn't quick on the draw. So
absurd.
Tori versus Michelle, though, their question wasn't hard, but Michelle still wasn't able to do it quickly enough. So it was 20 plus 15 minus 6. Yeah, Michelle does not like math. She lets us know this. And she's had to do a few math things this whole season. So she had the math one where she was going against not Anaya. The math one where she went against, was it, what's her name? Tina? Is that how she did the math one with the sliding door, the clear doors?
Yep, that was Tina.
Oh, yeah.
So she did that one, and then now she had the final. So she won 2 math eliminations, so good on you. And then she beat Bananas on this one. Their question was 30 minus 10 times 2. Very simple. Very clear. So yeah, what is Bananas versus Kylan? It was 64 divided by 8 times 3, which is like a little bit like harder to think about, I'd say. You'd have to know that 8 times 8 is 64 to be able to think that quickly. But Kylan gets it and he goes out, and then Bananas has to wait until Kylan gets back to the boat before he can swim out there. How does that make any sense when it seemed like this took 10 seconds, each of these questions? And so he has to wait like an hour for him to swim out there?
It's brutal.
Just so he doesn't only get 4th place? Is that why?
Yeah. Brutal. That was brutal.
Brutal. Bananas was, I think he was at this point was like, I guess I'm not winning this one at all. There's no chance.
Yeah. You could tell in each person's face when it was like over for them.
Yeah.
Yep. Jordan and Jenny, of course, got to the boat, the Sinister, first. Michelle ends up beating Tori and Rachel on the swim portion, and Rachel comes in 3rd here. And this is when I'm like, how on earth is she going to win? She would have had to have win this portion for me to think that she could have been a contender. Because it was like 3rd? Mm-hmm. Like, she's speaking in this final like she won, and I'm like, I can't see it. She's just doing so badly. So Kylan does finally get back to Sinister, and Bananas had to wait this whole time. He does jump back in the water when TJ gave him 4th place. I thought that was kind of funny. Bananas.
That was funny. I did actually laugh out loud.
Yeah, I mean, this season has made me not. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's always whining, always complaining, or like saying people are doing the things to him that he's done to people all of the season. It's like, yeah, but I actually don't mind him this season. That's just what it is. I just don't mind him this season.
He saved some pretty critical points. Like, everyone knows I'm not a Bananas stan. I don't like that man, but I'm like, he knows how to create TV. Like, there does need to be a certain point, like, as reality TV stars, to be like, hey, you guys, there's no drama here. People don't like us all being friends. Like, let's do something.
Yep.
Oh, he understands the assignment.
Yep. And that's why he gets invited back. Final checkpoint. Okay, so that's what I originally wrote. A lot of commentary from Rachel, ... We've had 94 unique champions, and 5 of them are right in front of me. I'm like, okay, go TJ. They're doing Champions Cove is this final checkpoint. They have to swim to the buoy and then read the directions. And so when they get to the buoy, they have these underwater scooters. And this also is like, I mean, it's fun, but there's no way that you're going to really be able to move any places if you're already out in front. You know what I mean? And so just because they're all going to have the same amount of motor power, and it's just going to have to do with who's lighter than whom. But like, other than that, it just didn't cause any way that people's will could get them further ahead. It just like, got to get there first, and to get that scooter first, or, you know, your position's never going to change. So while they're on the scooters, they had to collect these tokens. Jenny's having a problem with the sea scooter. Have you used one of these before, Fanta?
Okay, I didn't even know that these things existed until this, which is so funny because my partner and I play this game called Dave the Diver on Switch, and it's about this guy who dives like during the day and then runs a sushi restaurant at night, and you can like use an underwater scooter. And I was like, this is obviously not real. And then when this came on, I was like, I didn't know that these things existed, and why have I not used one? But you best believe I will be using one this summer.
Have you already started researching?
Yes.
Okay, how much does a underwater scooter go for?
They're not that expensive. There was like
Like
ones that I
what?
saw that were like around
200
100
bucks?
bucks.
Oh, 100
Yeah.
bucks. Get that
I,
scooter.
I'm sure it's not like a good one, but that's a good place to start.
Okay.
But I would be mucking with that for sure. That looks so
Um
fun.
definitely I could see you with it. Will you take a video of you using the underwater scooter? For how
Who would
much?
I be? Who would I be? You know what? That one's for free. You have one up for free.
Yay! So Michelle may get first place was here with this one, get a first place. And I was thinking, wow, good job. So I guess she did get back first. Rachel gets back second. They both beat every man, which was wild. Tori gets third, Jenny gets fourth. So all the women got back before the bed, which I was just like, interesting. Interesting. Jordan does get back first for the men, then Bananas, then I think Derek, and then Kyland, I believe, if the order. So they're all finished. Everybody's hugging. I think it's also, I find good about the challenge is when it's like a race, and when you cross the finish line and you know that you're there first, like there's something about that feeling and that excitement and that elation that we miss by everybody being like, well, I don't know if we won yet. We'll see
Yeah.
how we did once we get like our test scores. Like
Yeah.
it ruins a bit of the momentum for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that this final was quite a feat. Like swimming, that's a lot. Like that is the most swimming that there's ever been in the final. I thought this final was cool. I did enjoy the
It
swimming.
was fun.
I do think that that is a cool way to have like the boat be the home base and then do the challenges and then come back. Also being on the ocean for that many days, like that adds to um, I'm sure some people got a little bit seasick and that sort of thing. It was very different. I liked the final a lot. But
I would have
yeah, the
hated to do
the
it, but
yeah, yeah, 100%. I don't know that I would want to do that at all. But yeah, you're right. It is kind of strange to just be like, yeah, I know that I absolutely destroyed every single one of these checkpoints, but I'm not sure if I won.
we'll see. We'll see
That's
what happens. We'll see if
yeah.
how I treated people was good enough for me to still have done well in this final.
Yeah.
Like,
To let them know, like at the final, like, by the way, I hope you had good jury management. Like, what? When in the history of
replay,
the
replay.
challenge? Yeah, this is not Survivor. This is not Big Brother.
Hi, Sedani. Sedani says, too much water. I thought it was okay. Not the most entertaining to watch at certain points, with not much difference in scenery versus others. Yeah, I kind of agree that it got a little bit monotonous. Like, even I had to refer to my notes because I'm like, I don't actually remember what
Mm,
happened because it kind of all blends in with being very similar. But it was an okay final. I do appreciate doing something different, trying something new. They might be able to adapt and learn or develop a new check or a final or new challenges for the future in like a regular setting. So I think it was, it was all right, but there's definitely some room for improvement on this final format
yeah,
for
I
sure.
don't think they'll do that again. And they cannot not do eating again. That is not okay.
Had you know offhand how many finals they've not had eating?
Isn't this like the only one
I
in
kind
like
of.
since
I think there's been maybe one or another one.
like recently?
Not in like the last decade or like or 10
Yeah,
seasons.
I don't think like because I think back to like what did we rewatched something the other day.
39 didn't have
And
eating. It didn't. I don't really count
oh
39 as a
yeah,
real
I
season.
know 39 is like
It's kind of like Big Brother OTT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know what this one was.
That was a spinoff that none of us are proud of.
Yeah, I guess it did. Oh, it had drinking though.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did.
I consider drinking to be eating.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's,
would
like,
I
gross
would consider that
food.
because it was like fish. It
Yeah,
was
TV.
fish.
It was something gross.
Yeah.
It wasn't coconut water. Like,
That wasn't even rancid. It wasn't even rancid coconut water.
I know. It should have been rancid. Yeah, I can't think of a season where they haven't. You know?
Something.
Let me
Anyways,
look.
they didn't. All right. So after the points were tallied, no movement after the karma points for the men. Jordan wins. Did we not know pretty much the entire season that Jordan was going to win this if they didn't get him out?
I mean, come on. He was, and you could just tell he was focused. He was like, I'm going to win this season. Like, there was nothing that was going to get in his way.
Right, Natalia's reminding us they had an eating checkpoint that Colleen killed, but Berna flopped.
yes.
I can't remember it, but oh yeah, was it that? There was a lot of eating in that season. Even I just remember they're in teams. And I don't know. I can't remember. They're all conflating in my brain. Second place is going to be Derek winning $75,000. Bananas in third, winning $25K, and Kylan with the consolidation prize. No money. Goose egg.
None.
No,
Nada.
just can say that he did it. Now, do you think that he's going to go back and improve on his swimming?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I think he's going to like be taking swimming lessons, and then he's probably never going to have to swim again. But I do think that Kylan is the type of person that is going to work hard on any of his weaknesses because he wants to be a challenge winner so badly.
Oh.
Yeah, like Jordan called him obsessed.
Yeah, he's obsessed. He is obsessed.
Like, whatever, man. You were obsessed. You were obsessed until you won a bunch of times, and like, you know,
now you're too cool.
And now you're too cool because you want to be a race car driver. I get it. You're
Oh my God, we were
stuff.
cackling. We were cackling at that. We were like, "Pardon me."
Oh wait, you didn't know that he was? You didn't know that?
I had no idea until this season. No, I had no clue.
Well, I don't know if I knew.
I thought he was like motorcycle like guy. I don't know what he was up to.
Well, that was the reason why they were speculating that he wasn't going to come on to season 40 was because he was race car driving, whatever, and that's why he was late to the first episode. Was because like he was racing. So I didn't know much before the season started. Like it was been the last year that I knew that he was race car driving, but I knew. Fanta, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. That's fun.
Okay. I kind of like avoid his socials, to be honest.
I don't know if I saw it on his socials. I think I saw it in like, you know, people posting about it.
Like at what level?
Probably a high level.
Like
I don't know. He looks
NASCAR?
pretty professional. I don't know about NASCAR, but I don't know what levels there are.
Huh.
No idea. No idea. Okay, so with the checkpoints, Jordan had 27 points at the checkpoint, 19 for Derek, Bananas had 15, and Kylan had 9. Oh, that's so sad. And then the karma points, Jordan ended up with 4, Derek with 8, Bananas with 2, and Kylan with 6. So in the end, 31 to 27 to 17 to 15 is how their points broke down. And so the karma points got some revenge apparently, and we see a lot of 5s for Rachel and a 5s for Tori, but in the end Tori gets 4th place. That must have been a bruise to Tori's ego. Like, ouch. 100%. Is that why she's saying that she's retiring for a bit, or she's like not coming back next season? Is because she's like, ugh. She came back to defend her title and like, ugh.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
take a break for a season.
Yeah, just
People
take
won't
a
be excited
break.
for you to come back.
Yeah,
You
take a
know?
break. I think like Jordan needs to take a break. Tori needs to take a break. I think Bananas needs to take a break. I could have CT back.
He might be a little bit too
Uh,
unhinged right now. Have you been
but yeah,
watching?
I mean, yes, I've been following very closely. Like I know I think he's like injured now too.
Yeah, what
But
I don't even understand what happened there, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on, CT?
yeah,
So
so
funny.
I don't know, but I'm really happy with a Derek win. I'm glad that he like
Yeah.
took such a long break and like it's so cool to see like he can hang with the rest of them.
I don't mind Michelle being there as long as she doesn't have like the tour, like she doesn't have all the people that she had this season. I kind of wants to know the
Yeah.
CTT. Can you just remind us of what's going on with CT?
Cha-cha. So, he was dating this OnlyFans
Oh yeah.
model that Cara had introduced. She introduced them and thought they would be like a good match. Um, and at one point, CT posts like all this stuff on his Instagram that are all these like screen caps of like conversations she's had with like customers. And they're like sexts and like all of these things. And like some of the messages were like that she was using him for clout so that she could make more money. And he was like kind of like falling apart, like broke up with her, posted like a lot of like personal stuff like online, and then he deleted it all. And then started posting this stuff being like, I jumped to conclusions, like I love her. I think her name's Catalina or something. Cat. He's like, I love her, all of this stuff. And then a bunch of people went on her page and were like trolling her and like talking about how awful she was. So then he had to like go on and be like, everybody stop doing this. Um, and then he started posting like all these things on his stories about like, it was like all this like alpha guy stuff that's like, you need to be single, you need to like find out who you really are. And it was just like very uncomfortable and cringe to watch, but I watched every minute of it. Um, and then he like did this other post talking about how much like love and appreciation he had for her. Um,
Mhm.
but they did not get back together. I think that was like kind of
But
it.
did he get engaged, or is that just?
I think they were engaged like before all of that briefly. And then yeah, so they didn't get back together. And then recently, um oh yeah, and there was like a point where he was like people were commenting on his page and he was responding to everybody. Like people were just like, "Hey, like what's going on with you? You know, you deserve better than this." And then he would respond and he'd be like, "I'm not better than anybody. I'm just like some hood rat from Boston who got here." And then people were like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'm just looking for some type of validation." So it was like a few weeks of that. And then somebody posted on his account on his behalf to be like, uh, Chris can't do any cameos. He's been injured. And then everyone's like, what the hell is going on? And then he does a post and he's like, his fingers like all messed up and stuff and like bloody. And he like cracked a rib and like all of this stuff.
Do we
So
know
yeah,
how?
I don't know. Yeah, this went on for like a while and everybody was just like, dude, like log off. And he was like, no, I will not log off. I'm searching for something here. And people were like, what is happening? Like, so yeah, it was sad to watch. But I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, people would be like, why are you posting all of this like online? And he's like, I've lived my last 20
20 something years.
years in the public eye. Like, how is this different? Which I guess.
Oh my god, it says Fader needs to come and save CT. Come get Castle
I
Daddy.
know. I wish Phaedra reached out to him.
Oh, maybe she has. Like he seems like he's in a dark spot though right now. Definitely agree. I think he's going through it. I kind of worry for him because he doesn't seem like he has the right people around him right now that's gonna maybe help move him through it.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
and I don't want him to hit a rock bottom, but he might. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and he might need to be able to kind of get out of it. But man, yeah.
Yeah. I always root for him. And I mean that's the thing is like it's interesting because also like these people have just been a part their personalities and everything, they've just been a part of our lives for so long, for decades. Like what how old am I?
I just remember I was rooting for CT even on Real World Paris. I was like, oh, this guy,
Yeah.
he
I
just needs
know.
some love, you know, like he needs a hug.
But it was the duel where you really, that first duel where you really
Oh,
get into it.
God.
The
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah.
Love the duel. Okay, so finally, so Victoria's in fourth place. Moving from second place to third place, brutal is Michelle. So now Michelle's getting 25,000 points because she's only been on 3 seasons, like recent ones. And then in second place, actually, there's no second place because there's a tie between first and second place. Oh my God. Jenny and Rachel are going to win this. Now, Jenny got 22 points. Rachel got 16, Michelle 19, and Tori 13. So the karma points, because Rachel got 8, is what allowed her to win, and Jenny got 2. That is brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. And it's also
And
brutal is that in the end that Michelle is only behind by 1 point, but behind first
yeah.
place.
And also, not to mention that Jenny knew less people, didn't have the connections, blah, blah, blah. She
Yeah.
also went in a lot of eliminations.
Yeah,
So
maybe
people
Yeah.
are mad. She just beat you. Then you have to make scores right from there, you know?
Yeah. And that's the other thing where it's like Jenny she wasn't mean to anybody. She wasn't
No.
mean to anybody this
she was
season. So
forced to
like
play the game.
again, it's from with her back against the wall. So again, it's this thing where it's like, yeah, it's how you treat people, how you treat people. It's like, no, it's not. And
It's
Jenny even said herself, like, if this is a popularity contest, like I'm not gonna win this.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time she's even been on? Yeah, this is
The
her
whole thing
second
about the
season.
challenge is that
Like,
it's not like it isn't. Like once you're at the final, it's the final. And people who we hate win. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
not the most liked wins most of
yeah,
the time. Most of the time. So like, well, yeah, but whatever. It's a choice they made. It's a
100%.
choice they made.
If it was like people we liked who win, then like Brandon would have won 10 times
Yeah.
by now, you know?
Right.
But it's like that's
Oh,
kind of the
man.
thing.
No one besides Laurel. No one was beside
Yeah.
Laurel. No one deserves karma. Ugh, I hate it so much. Yeah, it really, really was not fun. I'm happy that they're happy with the outcome. I do think that it would have been maybe more satisfying if it was a 3-way tie with all those 3 women and they all split it. Then, like that would have been just a little bit more epic and iconic. It just seems like with this, Michelle really just lost out big time.
Yeah. I mean, and
he didn't do poorly.
I agree. And like the thing is, it does suck. Like Michelle did perform really well and she got so much farther than I think anybody could have thought that she would have gotten. But I was like I hope she doesn't get too down on it because this is her first final. This is like what her third season. Like she will likely win at some point
She's
in
gonna,
the
yeah,
future.
she's
Like
good. She's
to perform
a
like
win.
that, it's like come on, like that will happen. And Michelle's good TV. She brings the drama. She like her social is up there.
AK says, politics decide what happens in the finals. We saw it in 39. Emmanuel won based on politics. He did not start, so Rachel won based on politics that affected the final. Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
That is a thing. Again, it's like it's none of this is perfect. It's just the twist of it all, I think, is just was not fleshed out that well. I think there's probably another way that this could have been done.
Yeah, it should have been it usually is a decently clean slate. Maybe the Karma Poise could have set the order in the beginning of the final, maybe.
Yeah.
And affected just one checkpoint. That's it. Maybe.
I think that that's good. Like, set the order.
Mhm.
Timing or whatever, set the order. But to have it, like, blanket the whole
checkpoints worth?
final is, like, strange.
Mm-mm.
I know. I literally yelled out. I was like, 2 checkpoints? What?
And like so random. It's not like the season was double something in the title. Like, why
Yeah.
2? Like that made the total how many things? 9, 8, whatever.
I don't remember.
Checkpoints. It's weird.
Yeah.
Well, that is it for season 40, Battle of the Eras. Do either of you have any final thoughts about this season? I mean, I think we're going to probably talk about part 1 and 2 of the reunion, but anything else you want to say about this season before we say goodbye?
No. Just
I mean, just go after Jordan from the beginning. You should try to put him into as many eliminations as possible. Clearly, you can't have him in a final.
Yeah,
if you want a chance at winning. If you want a chance at winning.
If you want a chance at winning, yeah.
I guess is that the Michelle pro tip?
Fanta,
do you have a pro tip?
Production pro tip. Make sure those nails are hammered well into the board before you get Emily and Tina out there.
Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I do have a pro tip. Chantel's pro tip is maybe always be politicking even with the people that you hate, but like that sucks so that you're never gonna have any conflict in the show. But like just in case they decided to use karma points against you, like always maybe be thinking that maybe these people are gonna be voting for you. I don't know. Is that a pro tip?
They can never do karma points again. Otherwise, I will be filing legal action.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be doing that again. I honestly don't think, because I don't think it landed. Like, I mean, they have this cool ending they've never done before, so it's unique. But, yeah, I don't know that they'll continue down this road.
I am excited for Rivals. I think it's going to be a fun time. I really hope that moving into MTV is not going to water it down, because we want it to be. I want everyone to get negative karma this season. Yeah. Okay, like I want negative karma. That's it. That's all I want. I want everybody to be the most hated. Did you guys see the trailer yet? What do you think about that? Just before we say goodbye.
No, I haven't. I didn't. No, I did know it was out. Okay, I'm gonna watch it after this.
Is it on? I don't even know if I found. Let me see if I can find it for you, because I think it was hard to find, but it looks like it's gonna be a good time. Gonna be a good time. Thank you everybody here in the chat for hanging out with us all season. You stuck it through to the 19th episode into the new year 2025. 6 months down the road. We're not done yet. We will be doing, some recaps. I don't know if we'll do after one or after both of them, but we'll figure that out after we watch the first one and see what we want to do. But other than that, I guess we're going to maybe do a draft. Are you into doing a draft, Fanta, for the next season? I'll get our totals tallied up. I still think that I won. But I don't have the final totals yet. So
okay, yeah, I want to see that.
We'll see how the points add up.
In the meantime, watch Traders US slaying. Just serving everything we need. Like, let's just bring every person possible.
Traders,
it's everything.
Production team needs to work on challenge. Like they understand.
They're getting better though, because they're seemingly making the challenge mean something for, like there's having a little bit more shield action, or they're making people, it's a slight spoiler, sit out, so that, like, you know what I mean? Like giving some room for people to be making decisions, whether they're a faithful or a traitor. So they're kind of working on it.
No, I think Traders is great. I just think like challenge production can learn from traders.
Oh, I think you meant the challenges on the traders need
No,
more.
I think they've already improved. Like I think in between trader seasons, they have the biggest amount of of uh uh correction. Like from season 1
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah. They're getting better.
half regular people to reality stars, and they were all like, no, it has to be all reality stars from that. And then now they're like, okay, how do we fix these challenges? They got it in the bag.
Love it. I find it so fun. I am recapping the Traders season 3 with Mel B from season 1 of Traders Canada. We are working on getting exit interviews, so we might be able to get some, probably not like the big stars, but maybe some of the, people that have a little more room in their schedule. We might be able to talk to about the show. So we have been in communication. So hopefully we'll be
Cool.
getting to interview some people as they exit starting next week. So keep an eye out, which would mean that maybe you should subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell so you know when we go live, or if we have any extra content that we're bringing out. And I guess we'll see you soon for the reunion, and then make sure you tune in for Traders. See you, everybody. It's been a
Bye.
blast.
Hee hee.
Love you guys.